Daniel didn't think he had a problem. Everyone had a phone. Everyone scrolled. Everyone checked notifications. So when he reached for his phone first thing in the morning, it felt normal. When he checked it during breakfast, normal. When he picked it up while studying, normal. When he scrolled before sleeping, normal. But something strange had started happening. Daniel couldn't focus anymore. He would open his textbook, read one paragraph, then feel an itch. Not on his skin, in his mind. A quiet pull. Just check your phone for a second. He would resist at first, then give in. 5 minutes later, he would still be scrolling. Short videos, messages, random posts. And when he finally looked up, his brain felt foggy. He would stare at the same sentence he read 10 minutes ago, and it no longer made sense. That's when the frustration began. Why can't I focus? I used to be smarter than this. He wasn't lazy. He wasn't incapable. But something had changed. One evening, Daniel decided to test himself. He placed his phone face down on his desk. Then he tried to study. Within minutes, he flipped it over. Not because it vibrated. Not because someone called. Just to check. Nothing new. Still, he felt a small relief. A small reward. A small spark of satisfaction. That small spark has a name. Dopamine. Dopamine is not the pleasure chemical like people think. It's the anticipation chemical. It's what makes your brain say, something interesting might happen. Every notification, every message, every swipe, every refresh. Your brain releases a tiny burst of dopamine, not because something amazing happened, but because something might happen, and that might is powerful. Here's what Daniel didn't know. Every time he scrolled, his brain was learning. The brain is always learning, even when you think you're just relaxing. Inside his head, tiny pathways were strengthening, neural pathways, like roads in a city. The more you use a road, the wider and faster it becomes. And Daniel was using the quick stimulation road constantly. Short videos, fast cuts, bright colors, endless novelty. His brain adapted, because that's what brains do. They adapt to what you repeatedly expose them to. After a few months, Daniel noticed something else. Silence felt uncomfortable. Waiting felt unbearable. Even a 10-minute lecture felt long. He needed movement, sound, stimulation. Without it, his mind felt restless. This wasn't weakness. It was conditioning. His brain had become used to high levels of stimulation. When stimulation is high all the time, normal activities feel dull. Studying felt slow. Reading felt boring. Even conversations sometimes felt less exciting than his screen. Not because they were boring, but because his brain's reward system had been trained to expect more, faster, brighter, constant. There is a small system in your brain called the reward circuit. Its job is to motivate you to pursue things that help you survive and grow. Food, connection, achievement. But your phone taps directly into that system. It gives tiny, unpredictable rewards. Sometimes a like, sometimes a message. Sometimes something funny, sometimes nothing. And unpredictability makes dopamine spike even more. It's like a slot machine in your pocket. Your brain keeps pulling the lever. Swipe, refresh, scroll, because maybe this time something exciting will appear. That maybe keeps you hooked. Daniel didn't realize that the more he relied on quick dopamine, the harder it became to enjoy slow rewards. Slow rewards are things like finishing a chapter, learning a new concept, practicing a skill. Those rewards are deeper, but they require patience. And patience is a muscle. If you don't use it, it weakens. Daniel's patience had weakened, not permanently, but noticeably. One night, while trying to sleep, Daniel felt something else. His mind was racing, even in the dark. He had been scrolling in bed. Bright light, fast information, emotional content. His brain was still active, still alert, still stimulated. Your brain doesn't instantly switch off. When you flood it with stimulation before bed, it stays in high alert mode. Sleep becomes lighter, rest becomes weaker, and the next day, focus becomes harder, which leads to more scrolling, which leads to more fatigue, which leads to more scrolling. A quiet loop. But here's the part most people don't understand. Your phone is not evil. Technology is not the enemy. The brain simply adapts to what it repeatedly experiences. If you train it for speed, it prefers speed. If you train it for depth, it prefers depth. The brain is plastic. That means it changes. Daniel decided to experiment. He didn't throw his phone away. He changed how he used it. First, he created phone-free mornings. The first hour after waking up. No scrolling, just silence. It felt uncomfortable at first, but after a week, something shifted. His mornings felt clearer. Second, he stopped sleeping with his phone beside his pillow. He placed it across the room. Small change. Big impact. He fell asleep faster. Third, he replaced some scrolling time with focused blocks of work. 25 minutes. One task. Phone in another room. At first, his brain protested. It wanted quick rewards, but slowly, it began to enjoy the deeper reward of finishing something, understanding something, completing something. His reward system was adjusting, rewiring again, but this time intentionally. Weeks later, Daniel noticed something surprising. He could sit through a lecture without itching for his phone. He could read longer without feeling restless. Silence felt calmer, not empty, calmer. His brain had not been damaged. It had been trained, and now it was being retrained. That's the powerful part. Your brain is always being wired. The only question is, by what? If your days are filled with fast stimulation, your brain will crave speed. If your days include deep focus, your brain will build focus. If your nights are filled with endless scrolling, your sleep will weaken. If your nights are calm, your brain will restore itself. Your phone is rewiring your brain, but you are still in control of the wiring. So the next time you feel that itch, that small urge to check, pause. Ask yourself, am I training my brain for distraction or for depth? Because every scroll is a vote, and your brain is always counting. You are not weak. You are adaptable, and what you repeat, you become.